Most of the time, you tend to limit yourself in terms of what you're capable of and your earning potential as well sometimes. And this relates really, really closely to people learning AI in this day and age. Data science, machine learning, AI, whatever you want to call it, right? And although learning the technical skills is one of the biggest things you can do, you can't go anywhere without that. You do have some things or some actions you can take that are even that compound significantly on top of those skills. So the skills are the foundation that's necessary, but then there are ways for you to go above and beyond even that. That is by building projects. That's one thing as well, but definitely the one thing that you need to keep in mind is about posting on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on any other platform that requires or that has these technical people who are posting out content and who are viewing this content. So right now in this day and age, it's become significantly important, not just to have a personal brand, but to make sure that your presence is visible out there on social media. So that is one thing that I want to help people tackle. Limiting beliefs. There's a reason why you're not able to post out there. There's a reason why you're consuming rather than creating content, right? And that is to do with what you think of yourself, what you believe your beliefs are. Now, usually, people's life kind of goes around this kind of a scenario. You'll have beliefs which translate into your actions, which then translate into results. This is something that I learned from Tony Robbins, actually. So the beliefs are the foundation of everything. If you believe that you are not a person who posts, if you believe you are not an influencer, call it what you will, you'll never take the actions necessary, and then you will never get the results that compounding effects give you, because you're not building anything that is going to compound aside from your skills, which no one really knows. You're doing things on the side, but no one really knows what it is that you're building, what you're capable of. So it all starts from this belief that you have about yourself. And when I started out making content or even learning in the first place, I started out with a few limiting beliefs as well. And some of those I want to help tackle here to kind of debunk this belief that you have about yourself, is that you're not the person who's supposed to be posting. First belief that people usually have is, I'm not skilled enough to post. So seniority rarely has anything to do with why people might listen to you, what you might have to say, right? So we believe we need to have some kind of level of expertise to be able to, or, to be competent enough for people to listen to us, or we need to have significant levels of proof so that people listen to us. But when you're starting out, there is not going to be any proof in the first place. You're going to be a beginner when you're posting. Even if you have years of industry experience, you're going to be a beginner when you start putting content out there, when you start putting yourself out there. So it's a given that you're not going to have a lot of presence to begin with in the first place. So that should not be limiting you at all. So seniority or time spent in the field is not always the thing that people are looking for. People are actually, spoiler alert, looking for relatability. So that's one thing that I want to debunk, is that your skill level doesn't matter so much, right? You are going to be slightly more experienced than someone who's at zero. So if you're 2 years experience, you're better than the one who's 1 year experience or 0 years of experience. So you can still reach out to them. There is still something that you can teach. Second, everyone on LinkedIn is so much better than me. It seems true, and it might even be, but why must this discard you from the game entirely? So this one I really, really like. There are a lot of people out there who are posting on LinkedIn. Not as much as you think, by the way. There are a lot of people who are posting on YouTube, Substack, all of these things. But why should that stop you? So what? If there are like 10,000 people out there who are posting, who cares, right? You can be 10,001 and find some way to differentiate yourself. But if you're not in the game to begin with, you're always going to be at zero, and you'll never, ever break through the crowd. So in order to break through the crowd, you have to join the crowd in the first place and then break through it. The breakthrough doesn't come first. Third thing, what if I say something wrong? So this is super, super important. And this is one of the biggest things that people are afraid of, right? Being caught out. Like, oh, I'm like a few years experienced. I may say something wrong. People will catch me on it. And that is okay. But the one thing that people get wrong here is that you need to be authentic, right? It's fine if you make mistakes, but you need to be authentic and you need to own up to it. In fact, there's a really cool story from the DC Comics universe that I get into over here about Superman. So let me go through this because this is a very, very interesting story. So in the early times of Superman comics, DC ran into a problem where people started getting bored of Superman. Right, Superman. Their solution to this problem was to increasingly make Superman more and more powerful as a character. First, he could pick up boulders, jump great distances. Then he could lift up mountains, and then he could fly. Then he could lift up the world and other planets, and he just increasingly kept getting more and more powerful. But as DC made Superman more and more invincible, readers started liking him less and less, and their sales for the Superman issues dropped. Until came the everlasting principle of kryptonite. So this kryptonite thing is going to be super powerful. Kryptonite introducing a weakness to Superman changed the game for DC Comics for Superman issues. So what exactly happened? They gave the most powerful man in the world, or the universe, in their universe, a weakness. And suddenly their Superman comics sales shot up again. From this story, we can understand that imperfection is something that we as humans resonate with and therefore relate to. There's no need to hide your imperfections at all. If you do or say something wrong, that's fine, that's okay. The better you are able to own up to them, the more people relate to you and trust you. This trust is what we eventually want to build for you, which is known as a personal brand. So yes, you may make mistakes. You probably will make mistakes. Right? That's a given. But being authentic and being within yourself, within being comfortable within your own skin, that is going to be super, super important. Without that, you cannot break through the barriers. So that's super important to tackle. And this is, I think, one of the biggest things that people face when they're thinking about posting content out there. Fourth thing, posting feels cringe. I get it. Fine. You don't want to be one of those influencers, but you don't have to be. You're not supposed to be an influencer. And this goes back to authenticity. As long as you are authentic, as long as what you are saying, you truly feel and believe, and you are operating at the level of expertise that you actually do know, and you're not pretending to be 10 years senior than what you are right now, it's fine. Right? I know it feels cringe. That's okay. But it only feels cringe if you're doing something that you don't think you are capable of or that you lack expertise of. As long as you're saying and posting things that you know about, that you're confident about, then that changes the game. That is what you really need to go after. That is what you really need to be chasing is authenticity. Within authenticity, you're not going to feel cringe because that's you. That's actually who you are. So there's that. Last thing, nobody cares about what I am building. I sincerely doubt it. It might feel like that when you're starting out, no one is expecting. It might feel like that starting out, but no one is expecting you to be an influencer with hundreds of followers, right? The point of starting to build content is to create your credibility. That is very, very important. Make you visible in the market rather than turn you into an influencer. Key here is to remain authentic. You'll see authentic as a theme every now and again, and not speak about things that you might not be an expert in or have any knowledge at all. So these are just some points that I wanted to go through with you, let you know about. That is fine, right? If you're making mistakes, it's fine. You're starting out at zero. You are a beginner. As long as you're authentic on yourself, you need to put yourself out there. Otherwise, you're not going to progress in your career. You're going to be blocking yourself from opportunities. And that is probably the last thing that you want to be doing. Plenty of blockages out there already. Do you want to be a blocker for yourself as well?